Um, First of all, it's a really, really challenging language to learn. I think speak slowly, and that will give people more of a chance to understand. Be confident with it, and the more with any language, the more practice you get. Confidence would be the hardest thing, as it'd be so different from the language they already know. Yeah, I'd say that's my advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing when you're learning a language is to stop feeling ashamed of like the mistakes that you can make. Your pronunciation, your accent is normal to have one. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think nowadays it's more encouraged, like that people keep their normal way of pronouncing things. Yeah, so, and then again, if you make mistakes, if you use the wrong words or something, like, it's okay. We all make mistakes, and yeah, you have to just go beyond that to feel comfortable.
Well, my advice is to go to places where you can find foreigners, and don't be afraid to start a conversation with them, and then you will have to speak English, and the situation will force you to do it, and you will gradually learn.
Just try. Often people will understand what you mean, even especially when you're using gestures, mimic, and so on. So you just try to be brave. So it will be okay. Yeah.
To go and to try, even if your English is not so good, even if it's only basics, because when you try, it's the way you can communicate well with people, and I think most of the people don't really care if the English is good or not. The most important to me is that you can communicate with people even if you make mistakes or anything else.
Just talk.
Yeah, and try, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And I think it's better to speak with someone who speaks English than to learn from books.
I would say just I think it's a little tricky at first, but just putting yourself out there is just it. Like, you just go out there and try talking to people in English. That's really the best way to learn. Just go around, and then if you're feeling shy to actually talk to people, I think just watching shows in English is probably how I learned English myself. So I think that's a good way to get started.
I think the first advice is to not to think about too much about what you speak. Just speak. Don't think too much. Or have another.
Say what you think.
Just keep practicing. Like, don't be shy. Just, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And nobody's judging you.
And because everybody's making mistakes, so that's okay.